Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the press briefing of the Youth Moving Beyond GDP initiative. My name is Nathalie Delorme, and I work at the Beyond Lab, which is the multi-stakeholder space at UN Geneva driving social innovation for long-term sustainability. I lead the Youth Moving Beyond GDP initiative and have the pleasure of guiding us through today's press conference. I am joined today by Özge Aydogan, the director of the Beyond Lab, Lawrence Jones-Williams, the Executive Director of Rethinking Economics International. Our third partner unfortunately couldn't make it. We will of course have to be very grateful and announce the UN Trade and Development, who is a core partner of this initiative. And with that, I hand the floor over to Özge.
Thank you so much, Nathalie. We are so excited to be here today as we officially launch the Youth Network for Beyond GDP, as part of our joint initiative, Youth Moving Beyond GDP, in cooperation and close collaboration with Rethinking Economics International, and also, as Nathalie mentioned, UN Trade and Development, but also in a growing partnership with the UN Youth Office. It's an initiative, a platform, which is transformative at the intersection of youth leadership and economic systems transformation to break through the intergenerational glass ceiling that we sadly see continuously prevailing in today's economic thinking and policy making. I think we all agree that the world is at a very critical juncture point, almost as a rupture point. Relying on gross domestic product, short GDP alone, has not led us to a just, equitable, sustainable world for that matter. Instead, by prioritizing short-term economic priorities, it has actually led to a point where long-term well-being, which includes planetary and human well-being, has been compromised on the expense of short-term gains. This includes the full realization of human rights of those living today, but also of those yet to come, future generations. By emphasizing extractive short-term economic models, the GDP-centric approach has been misleading policy and financing from development priorities to debt relief strategies, undermining, therefore, sustainability and perpetuating systemic inequalities. Now, when we are in this moment, which we believe, that is going to shape the future of economic systems, we need to put intergenerational equity and youth at the center of that change. Young people, they are not only those looking at it from the outside, right? No, that they are not only the ones going to inherit the challenges we are creating upon them today. They have to be at the very center of the change that we are bringing about. They have to be the architects of it. So their ideas, values, and energy are, and always have been, essential, key to promoting environmentally sustainable practices, social innovation, and creative economies.
Thank you. So the Youth Moving Beyond initiative empowers young economic thinkers to do three aims: contribute directly to global policy dialogues, provide educational leadership around the Beyond GDP agenda, and institutionalize intergenerational equity. On the first one, contributing directly to global policy dialogues and to redefining how we measure sustainable development progress, we are pleased that there is such momentum behind this initiative, and we will hope that this network will serve as a sounding board for stakeholders shaping the new Beyond GDP frameworks, including the UN General Secretary's high-level expert group on Beyond GDP. We are really excited to be mobilizing young economic thinkers, something which Rethinking Economics has done for the past 10 years to change economics, education, research, and practice. And there is a great interest in this subject as young people really do want to define their futures and their current generation's future as well as future generations. In addition to that, we want this network to provide educational leadership around the Beyond GDP agenda to young people across social movements. We're interested in developing this group, this cohort of young economic thinkers to create communications materials, videos, articles, but also to reach out to youth movements to make sure that we can fully represent the views of young people. This is something that is absolutely core to the agenda of any political change. We need to build a strong coalition of young people across the world. Unfortunately, our network is very interested in increasing our international outlook. And then thirdly, we want to institutionalize intergenerational equity as a core principle to redesign economic systems. This is something that actually we've been doing as a coalition partnership for the last year or so with the Beyond Labs events to think about how we can enact the moving beyond GDP agenda and what the next economic systems would look like. We also ran an essay competition of which we had 600 entrants from across the globe of people all justifying why we need to move beyond GDP, or in this instance, think about how we can complement GDP with another metric. We're really excited about this momentum, and we really want to build a diverse, inclusive, and representative global platform. We will support this young economic thinkers networked through education, networking, and advocacy opportunities to hold the Beyond GDP agenda accountable to future generations. We don't just want this network to be passengers or witnesses to this process. We want them to be actively engaged, and that's why we are extremely pleased that we are getting great engagement on this platform. With today's launch, we open a call for participation, inviting anybody under the age of 35 and doers in all regions that want to think about and contribute to a dialogue on moving beyond GDP. We've had a lot of interest in this network already, and I think we are circulating the QR code and survey at the end of this press conference. I'll pass back to Oscar.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. I obviously share your passion and your drive for it, and we are really truly excited and really amazed that we are actually becoming part of the Sevilla Action Platform. So we wanted to thank the government of Spain for making this happen. That was actually an initiative, it is a core initiative that's been announced this morning, and I think there will be a press conference tomorrow on this as well, so please also follow that. So our youth network will build into the alliance, will contribute also to the alliance, in addition to what Lawrence also just mentioned. As part of the expert group in the UN, we're also looking forward to working with this alliance as a sounding board, again, on intergenerational issues through the network, but also really as an experimentation space, because as we have been learning over the past few days, I think, in Sevilla, development is not linear, and that's what we need to also focus on. This alliance will help ensure youth perspectives are embedded in the formal FfD4 process as a follow-up, also in an important step towards institutionalizing intergenerational engagement. And once more, building on the SDGs is also implementing the Pact for the Future that was agreed last year. Now, as you now know, the Youth Network is jointly convened and curated by the Beyond Lab at UN Geneva, Rethinking Economics International, and also UN Trade and Development that could not be with us today, but also been now growing. We have been growing this family, and I'm very happy to also say that we have been in very good and very close collaboration, for example, with the Youth Office on this one. It's been generously supported by the Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development in Germany, and also through a long-term partnership between the Beyond Lab with the Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation, and again, with political support from Spain, and we look forward to collaborating on this further. Now, let me close, and I would like to say this collectively, that this is really just the beginning, right? This is really just the beginning. So if you also believe that progress should be measured differently in a way that it puts really the well-being of people and planets today and tomorrow at the center, then you should become part of it as well. Because it's about time that we move beyond GDP together, and that we have young voices really lead the way. So thank you so much, and make sure you scan the QR code at the end of the press release. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. And I will end with one more announcement. So the QR code will be revealed at our side event this afternoon at 2:30. The side event is called Youth Moving Beyond GDP, Intergenerational Equity to Finance What We Value. And it will also be live streamed. So thank you so much for your attention, and we look forward to building this movement together. Thank you.
And that was a way to get you to our side event today, so you should come to get the QR code. Thank you.